In the Genshin Impact 3.1 patch, we got a brand new 4-star character, Candace. However, unfortunately at the current moment, she's not being very well received by the Genshin Impact community right now. Some people are wondering why did miHoYo even make her, some people are wondering if she's just a worthless 4-star character. After all, we already have a normal attack buffer in the name of Yunjin, so it is unclear why miHoYo made a second one. However, I think everybody out there is missing the most important use case about Candace, and that's why they think she sucks. Well, of course, that doesn't account for the fact that she does look really hot, and especially with that Millennium Eye on her head. To begin, Candace is a 4-star Hydro polearm user whose main job is to buff the normal attack damage of your on-field DPS. Truth to be told, its functionality is 1-to-1 identical to Yunjin, except Yunjin just have better scaling, which means Yunjin pretty much just buff your characters better, especially since her constellation scale dramatically better. With each constellation that you unlock in Yunjin, namely especially Constellation 2 or Constellation 6 that either increase your normal attack damage or normal attack speed, the difference between Candace and Yunjin will grow further and further and further. That's not to mention Yunjin's elemental burst just lasts longer. By default, Candace has a 9-second elemental burst, and with Constellation 1, you can increase that by 3 seconds, totaling it to 12 seconds. However, as it turned out, Yunjin by default, without any kind of constellation, come with a 12 seconds elemental burst duration. So for some reason, miHoYo decided that they have to nerf the elemental burst by 3 seconds just to make it a constellation. Perhaps they ran out of idea of how constellation can work on Candace maybe? Now of course there is a second different unique aspect about Candace, and that is her elemental burst can actually infuse sword or claymore or polearm wielding characters with a Hydro infusion instead. So you could potentially be doing something like a Hydro Xiao, Hydro Keqing, some kind of interesting avatar team or meme team. Interestingly enough, the Hydro infusion from her elemental burst can actually override the Pyro infusion from Bennett elemental burst. So I guess there is a infusion priority after all. But just to make a quick call in case it isn't obvious, that infusion alone isn't really enough to supply enough Hydro for majority of the character in Genshin Impact. So if you're looking for a Hydro application, then you're probably better off running something like Xingqiu's. It does allow you to run some interesting team like Zhongli, Yelan, Xingqiu's, and Candace, but in general it's not really that helpful. The thing is, majority of the character in Genshin Impact by default come with their own infusions. Raiden have Electro infusions, Itto have Geo infusions. So for the most part, the Hydro infusion doesn't even matter at all. So if both aspects about her kit is just not the greatest, then what exactly is the point of Candace? What can she actually do? As it turned out, there is this one very unique use cases that no other character can do that everybody is missing about Candace, and that's actually lie in the character itself. You see, none of the other characters in Genshin Impact can do this remotely close at all, but Candace has a very unique name that allows you to say something like, "Can these not fit in your mouth?" So the next time when someone asks you, "How's Candace?" you know the answer.